Atacama, a well-known spot to go to when going north or south in South America. I will explain to you what you can do here and how you should do it to save costs. I arrived by night bus from Salta, Argentina to Atacama, Chile. Border crossing and such all taken care of. You can also arrive from Bolivia, but I will explain that in the next episode, or come from Santiago. I will dive deeper into the activities later. First, we're going to do some sandboarding. So that's how it's supposed to look like. Trying to film and sandboard for the first time comes with challenges, so the reality was a little bit different.
There is no ski lift. So yeah, it's quite fun actually. But it is a little bit difficult sometimes because the sand really feels different than snow. And you have to like lean back instead of leaning forward, which you normally do on a snowboard. And it's a hot day to walk up. So I think snowboarding is better, but it's definitely fun to try sandboarding. I really enjoyed it. If you want to do it as well, the information is always in the description like usual. You can find the website link. The price was 45,000. Everything, by the way, in Chile, they like to do business via WhatsApp. So always see if there is a WhatsApp number and then just fix it via that. So.
Given its high altitude, Atacama Desert has quite a large area of salt flats. On the next trip I will learn more about it. I'm heading towards Lagunas Escondidas de Baltinache, this time on a tour which costed me 38,000 pesos, plus a park fee of 5,000 pesos. Quite expensive. Soon we will learn more about doing it yourself and all the other activities.
So after a rough 1 hour driving, the road was not too bad, so I think you can perfectly do it with a rental car. We arrive at the salt lakes where we're going to take a swim. Let's see how we are going to float on this.
And I recommend not to put your face into the water because it hurts.
Like when you want to try, you put your feet down, trying it like this, but it's do nothing, it's going to be like Alright, this is quite fun. Now I become a tall person. Yeah, we have an improved shower. Yeah. Alright.
English is quicker.
Really?
No, it just makes it shorter.
I don't. English is much more efficient as a language. All right, so I talked about a few things here. Everything here from this mountain range, the Domeico mountain range, everything from this mountain range towards all the way to the Andes is the Atacama salt flat. Right? Salt flat formed many times because there was an ocean. The ocean dries up and the salt is left behind. Here, that's not the case. Here, the salt actually comes from the mountains. Right? That process is very slow, but it has been going on for so many millions of years, around 30 million years. The different layers of salt have formed. This valley used to be much deeper. There's right now around 900 meters of different layers of salt, almost 1 kilometer. That's why if you travel to Uyuni in Bolivia, everything is white because they have a rainy season of 3 months, and here it's only 1 week. If climate were to change in a way that it would start to rain more here, then this would look the same as Uyuni, because all the salt would come to the surface. Because even in a spot like this where there's no salt, if you dig a hole, you will find these same 900 meters of layers of salt. There's always a tiny bit of salt coming in, but the water evaporates and the salt stays. So then since there's always more salt coming, the salt concentration rises and rises. Now it's actually at the maximum. It can't rise anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's saturated because water only can absorb so much salt. So the only way to get it to absorb more salt would be to heat it up.
That 1 week of rain he mentioned, yeah, that happened to be this week. What a coincidence. And it was a lot.
It's at least a very beautiful rainbow. See? Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. So yeah, what do? Just taking pictures and walking in the water and...
I booked the package agency, another agency. Yeah. They said so.
So what is there more to do around Atacama? There are a couple of other lagoons and salt flats you can go to. Another popular activity is stargazing. Because it's a high altitude location and almost no cities around it, the stars become very clear. Next, there is also a valley that looks like being on the moon. Valle de la Luna. We will go there later. Next up, you can go to the famous geysers in the north, with a hot spring along the way. Mind you that the altitude will increase to 4,320 meters. Be aware of altitude sickness. Now if you would do all of these tours individually or some kind of a combination of them, it becomes quite expensive. So the best option is rent a car with some strangers. I've met these people via travel WhatsApp groups, but you can also just ask around in your hostel. Really, don't be afraid, Atacama is very well known for this.
We almost decided not to go here because a lot of people were telling us that it was closed because the rain of yesterday was like the worst that they had in like history. So yeah, but happy we did because it's now very calm. We are actually the only ones here. Very nice.
Alright, so let's talk about cost. The geysers we went to today cost normally by tour 42,000 pesos, not including the park fee of 50,000 pesos. Ojos de Salar and Laguna Tibinerchi, where we are going to now, is normally by tour 44,000 pesos. It does include some of the other salt fields though. Valle de la Luna, where we're going to after, costs by tour 29,000 pesos, plus the park fee of 11,000 pesos. You get the idea. You basically pay quite a lot for transport and it's not like you get any discount on the park entrance fees. The car we rented costed us 123,500 pesos. Divide that by 5 people, that's just 24,700 pesos. We have planned to squeeze 3 locations for today. Besides that, it's already very nice with this group and to do it together and go on our own pace, it saves us quite a lot of money. So both being fun and a cost saver, definitely worth it to do your best to find a group of people.
So the next stop is in Valle de la Luna. It's quite a big park. You have to buy your tickets online the day before, otherwise it's going to be complicated. It's now just hiking around around the dunes, which I've already done, of course, with the sandboarding. So, but the views are quite incredible, so it's quite nice here.
Now, unfortunately, there is a culture here where the tour guides really try to make sure that every tourist that comes here joins a tour instead of going by themselves. The parks don't make it easier as well. They impose really strange rules which aren't that obvious to us. But of course the tour guides complain to the park about every teeny tiny thing we do, only to make sure the tourists with their own vehicle get banned from the parks.
So that was the end of the road trip, and that's also the end of Atacama, because tomorrow I'm going to Bolivia. So I hope you enjoyed these trips I did in Atacama. I'm really excited about Bolivia, so stay tuned for that, subscribe below, and see you in the next video.